Hey guys, welcome to Fantasy Tipped. Max here with you for the weekend ads of week 14. And this week we have a very light schedule on the off days. Only 2 games on Friday and 2 games on Sunday. Therefore, considering the entire league plays on Saturday, we will only take a look at the 8 team that plays during Friday and Sunday. For the Friday games, we have 2 games. The first game is the Nashville Predators against the Dallas Stars. The Stars are 12-7-2 at home. They've scored a staggering 83 goals so far, whereas Nashville is 10-7-1, pretty decent record for being away. They've scored 58 goals for, 59 goals against. That's pretty average. Before last Saturday's contest that the Predators won 4-3, Dallas had won the previous 5 games to Nashville and only conceded 7 times during that stretch. Recent history suggests that the Predators have trouble finding the net against the Stars. The second game is the Philadelphia Flyers, who are 20-13-6 overall against the Minnesota Wild, who are playing .500. The Wild is 10-8-2 at home, scored 58 goals. The Flyers are 11-6-4, scored 66 goals. Quite an amazing feat. The home team has won the last 4 contests between these 2 teams. Philadelphia has won the last 2, and Minnesota has won 4 of the last 6. Without further ado, let's jump right into the players. At number 1, Ryan O'Reilly. Still shocked to see O'Reilly is under 70% rostered. He's up to 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points in his last 7 games. So even if Nashville only end up scoring 1 or 2 against Dallas, I expect O'Reilly to be a part of the score sheet. At number 2, Tyler Seguin. The second line in Dallas is on absolute fire right now. Matt Duchene is officially out of reach at 72%. So we must turn to the next best thing, and that is Tyler Seguin. He scored in 4 of the last 5 games. He has points in 9 of the last 13 games with 3 multi-pointers. His lineman, Mason Marchman, has 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points in the last 5 games. I think that's enough said. At number 4, we have Sean Couturier, who's still consistent, hasn't played bad at all year since returning from injuries. He sometimes plays well above 20 minutes per game and has 27 points on the season. At number 5, Gustav Nyquist, another player riding a hot streak. He's been hot for a long time. I've hinted to you guys that he was a keeper when he was 5% rostered. I told you guys when he was 10% rostered, and now he's at 36%. This is the last call, guys. He has an 8-game point streak where he totals 6 goals, 6 assists. I don't think that first line will slow down anytime soon. At number 6, we have Marco Rossi, big boomer bust candidate this weekend, but his ice time average in the past few games showed that he's been on the ice above 20 minutes per game. Even with Kaprizov out, he will have his chances at top line 1 and PP1. We also have Joel Farabee, who's got 6 assists in the last 6 games. Just like Rossi, he's on the first line and the first power play. We also have Ryan Hartman, who has 4 points in the last 7 games. His lineman, Marcus Johansson, has 9 points in the last 11 games. They both play line 2. They both play PP2 in Minnesota with a decent home matchup incoming. At number 10, Owen Tippett. He finally ended his slump on Monday with a goal. Although he's kept his PP1 spot at the point intact, he has been downgraded to the 3rd line. I'm not as confident as usual with Tippett this weekend. Tortorella changes his lines often, and you would be wise to double check the Flyers lineup on game day for any pickup, except for Sean Couturier. At number 11, Young Johnston, the Stars' 3rd line center alongside Jamie Benn. Very good shot volume. He's got 23 points on the season. He's on pace to eclipse his rookie year's season production. At number 12, Marcus Foligno. Here's a safer floor, loads of potential hits and pair-ifs. He's got 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points in the last 6 games he took a part of. I don't understand why Minnesota doesn't put him at PP2. I don't know what they see more in Pat Maroon, but hey, maybe they see something I don't. And finally, a couple of Predators second-line players in Evangelista and Novak. Evangelista has 3 goals in the last 4 games. Novak has 4 assists in the last 5 games. And they are both extremely streaky. As for the Sunday games, the first matchup we have is the Detroit Red Wings against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto at home, 9 wins, 7 losses, 2 OTLs, 65 goals for. Detroit on the road, 10-9-1, 68 goals for. So lots of goals. Toronto has won 10 of the last 12 games against the Red Wings since December of 2019 and scored a phenomenal 54 goals during that time. And it's worth noting Detroit has won both games in 2023. We also have the Rangers against the Capitals. Washington is 10-6-4 at home, 47 goals for. The Rangers' away record is incredible at 13-5-2. This will be an insanely tight match. These two teams have split even in the last 10 contests with 5 apiece. They also split the last 12 contests evenly, 14 and 16 contests. Even their all-time head-to-head is tight at 43 wins for Washington, 41 wins for the Rangers. The Rangers, however, have won 3 of the past 4 games. If history repeats itself, Washington should end up on top. At number 1, Dylan Strome is on pace to break his best goal-scoring season at 23. He's already up to 15 goals this year. Cemented on the PP1, he's always a good option, and he has 4 points in the last 5 games. Max Pacioretty just came back, and in his 3-game sample that we got, he compiled an assist, 5 shots, 5 hits, and a block while only playing 13 minutes per game. They are easing him back, and he finally got a spot on the PP2 last game. I already see people giving up on him, calling him a bum already. But listen, I own him in 100% of my leagues. I'm not dropping him. He can get injured again. I don't care. I'll stash him. He is a pure goal scorer. I want him on my team when playoffs start. If you're doing well in your league and you're ready to be patient for 10 to 12 games, to get a sample of what Pacioretty could give you, I invite you to jump on the Pacioretty train before he explodes. We're talking about an elite shot volume. No matter how slow he's gotten and how bad his skating got, you can't take his release away. I said what I said. I'm all in on Pacioretty. At number 3, Tyler Bertuzzi, who completes John Tavares and Willie Nylander. The Leafs are used to scoring a lot of goals for fun against Detroit, especially at home, and Bertuzzi could see his name on the score sheet more than once if we see a Toronto domination. At number 4, the streaky Lucas Raymond. He's been very good in the last few weeks. He has a goal, 5 assists, 6 points in the last 5 games. Although I do think the Leafs will win by a few goals, it's impossible to turn your back on the Red Wings top 6. We also have Tom Wilson, who's having a hard time finding his name on the score sheet recently, but the floor he offers is just way too good. Bunch of hits, a spot on the Capitals PP1 makes him a dangerous streamer every time. With him going day to day at the beginning of the week, you might be lucky enough to find him on the waiver wire. Take a chance, scoop him up if you've had an impatient manager in your league. At number 6, Perron. After going scoreless for 4 games, Perron has 2 goals, 2 assists in the past 4 games. First line, PP1 in Detroit. We also have Alexis Lafreniere, who's only scored 2 goals since November 24th, but he's piled up 6 assists in the last 6 games. He's on the extremely efficient second line in New York with Artemi Panarin and Vincent Trocheck. We also have Matthew Knies, who, just like Bertuzzi, his ceiling will be super high against the Red Wings. Toronto is expected to win this one, and he will play on the first line with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. At number 9, Anthony Manta. It's been super rough for Manta since joining Washington in 2020, but things are slowly turning around. He's already got 11 goals this year, and just like last year, by the way, but in 33 games less. And he's got 4 power play points from the second unit since December 7th. At number 10, his teammate Kuznetsov. I bet on Kuzi last week due to the off days and him being back up on line 1. He scored a goal and an assist with 3 shots during the 3-game stint with my team. Dropped him on Sunday, but who knows? Might get him back for the weekend. Deployment is there. line 1, and PP1 usage. At 11, we have GT Confer. Great deployment for Confer, who plays with Patty Kane and gets PP1 time. Plays above 20 minutes per game. I just don't like the matchup against Toronto, or he might have been ranked higher. We also have Blake Wheeler, who's a big boomer bust option, first line winger with Ziba and Kreider. I feel like the Rangers are one right winger away from being an actual Stanley Cup contender. I would really like to see Tarasenko go back there and let Blake Wheeler play in a bottom 6 roles. But hey, we'll see what happens at the deadline. At 13, we have Max Domi, who's having a great season technically from the third line in Toronto. Fantasy-wise, it's up and down. Good one-game pickup if Bertuzzi and Nyes are already gone from your waiver wire. And finally, Nick Dowd, who's been impressive recently. He's got 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points in the last 5 games, including 5 shots, 7 hits, and 12 blocks. Not bad for a fourth-line center. Now let's jump to defensemen. At number 1, ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing the breakout of Thomas Harley. He's already up to 9 goals, 10 assists this season in 36 games from a reserved role. But now that Heiskanen is out, he is the new PP1 option in Dallas, and he should be the best defenseman on your waiver wire if available. At number 2, Brock Faber. Spurgeon came back, re-injured himself instantly. That's good news for Brock Faber owners. He keeps his PP1 spot. What amazes me though is his time on ice. He ranks 9th in the league with 24 minutes, 46 seconds per game. He's played above 30 minutes in 5 of the last 13 games with loads of shots and loads of blocks. At number 3, Jake Wallman. I personally expect the Red Wings to lose this game by a couple of goals. We've been through this. I also expect the Leafs to shoot 35 plus pucks on net, which opens the door for Jake Wallman to block 4 shots or possibly more. I think his floor will be safe with shots and blocks. If he gets a point as well, it's going to be a big hit. His teammate Shane Gostisbehere drops on the list because I don't expect the Wings to score more than 2 on the Leafs. But hey, the last time I spoke badly of Gostisbehere, he had a 4-point night. So, at number 5, Timothy Liljegren. He's been one of my best kept secret in the last month. He has 6 points in 10 games since being back and a staggering 31 blocks. He also plays on the PP2. At number 6, Yegor Zamula. The PP1 musical chair continues in Philadelphia. Torts isn't afraid to mix things up, and Zamula is now the PP1D. He's got 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points in the last 8 games, including 3 power play points. The problem is he doesn't hit and he doesn't block, which makes him a big boomer bust candidate. I won't go for him, honestly, due to the lack of peripherals, but I cannot not recommend him to you guys since he's been so clutch recently. We also have Martin Fehervaghi, big hitting, blocking defenseman, also on the first pairing with John Carlson. And finally, a couple of PP2 defensemen for their respective team, Eric Gustafsson, Dante Fabro. That is, of course, if none of the other options are available. So Jamie Drysdale is now a Philadelphia Flyer. Move just happened after I was done prepping the video. Seems like we have a new PP1 defenseman in Philly. It's going to be really interesting to see how Tortorella deploys him. If he becomes the PP1 quarterback right away. If Zamula loses his PP1 spot, Zamula loses fantasy appeal completely. So keep a close eye on Jamie Drysdale. For the Sunday goalies, only 2 games, so we'll go team by team. First, Toronto. Dennis Eldeby, or Eldeby, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, should get his first NHL game this weekend. Like I said earlier, I expect Toronto to win against Detroit, regardless if it's Martin Jones or Eldeby. So whoever you get, load them up. Darcy Kuemper is also interesting. It's going to depend to see if he gets the first half of the back-to-back. But I hope Kuemper gets the home matchup against the Rangers. He hasn't played many home games this year, and this match could go either way. Since this match could go either way, we also have Jonathan Quick that could also get the Sunday game against the Capitals. But just like Kuemper, it'll be the toss of a coin. And any Detroit goalies is a no-go in my book. Toronto scores goals for fun against Detroit in the last few years. Therefore, I do not trust Lyon, I do not trust Reimer, or anybody they put in front of the net. Now, let's jump into the categories for this weekend. You'll see that the stats are a lot lower than normally. Less teams, of course. For the shot categories, Owen Tippett, 3.5. Cam Atkinson at 3. Sean Couturier, Tom Wilson at 2.8. Laugh is there at 2.5. Daniel Sprung, Ryan O'Reilly, 2.4. And Scott Lawton and Wyatt Johnston at 2.2. For the blocks, we have Jake Wallman at 2.8. Nick Seeler, 2.7. Liljegren at 2.3. Brody and Giordano at 2.2. Funny, they're all on the same team. Ben Sherrod at 2 blocks a game. For the hits, we have Jeremy Lauzon, who's far ahead at 3.7. Benoit and Wilson, Kiefer Sherwood at 2.9. Marcus Foligno, 2.8. Braden Shen, 2.7. Cole Smith, not Craig, Cole Smith at 2.6. Delorier, 2.5. And Melinstein, 2.4. For faceoffs, Sean Couturier, 10.8, O'Reilly, 10, Nick Dowd, 8.3, Dylan Strome, 7.4, Colton Sisson, 7.3, David Kampf at 6, Kuzi and Andrew Kopp at 5.9, and his teammate GT Comfer at 5.8. And that's it for today, folks. But before we finish, I'd like to show you the Content Creators League standing so far, a little past the halfway point. And finally, Fantasy Tipped is undisputed #1 in week 14. Super tough league, super competitive with amazing guys like Data Draft and Fired Up Fantasy. And I just wanted to show you guys. So thank you for watching. I hope these advice help you out for the upcoming days. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It makes all the difference to us. And I hope these advice help you be #1 in your league. See you next week.